welcome back to my channel. Yes. Big up to Liam for the raid, by the way. Big up to Liam. Thank you for the raid. Big up to everyone in here. Let me just print this comment quickly. There we go. And let me make sure you guys can see that. Because it's already quite a few people in here. Hello to everyone in here. Ludovic Reis, first trophy for Club Brugge. Yeah. I can't get the top comments. Very annoying, but Liam great indeed. It's very annoying. I can't get the top comments with this chat when stream is already started. If I get the top comments before I start stream, then I can get them. It's very annoying. I don't know why it's like this. Anyhow, big up to everyone in here. 2-2 entire game. Like and subscribe, please. Helps the channel out a ton. Hello, what is our union? Losers, that's what they are. Hey. 12 seasons in a row. 1 trophy or more. You know what, yeah? Bayern München only managed 11. Bayern München only managed 11 seasons. We got more seasons in a row with a trophy than Bayern München did. They had 11 league titles in a row, so it's a bit more impressive, but still. Ludovic Reis' first trophy, indeed. Yes, big up to Liam. Thank you for the raid earlier. Thank you for the raid. I'm going Brugge. Is it easy to get tickets for the games? No. It's not. The games are... It depends on what the game, actually. If you're going to a Champions League game, it might be quite easy to get a ticket. And if you go to an away game, surprisingly easy. With home games, it's difficult, man. It's difficult. There you go. You can sing about that, but oh, let me don't need that scoreboard. But we will be talking, of course, about well, I wasn't planning to talk about this, but it came up like right before I was going live. Actually, this was while I was doing the watch along. So, Girona have prioritized the loan signing of Victor Reis and are optimistic of a deal. If you don't know, Akanji was linked away for a little while, and after Akanji was linked away, the news came out that Galatasaray is not willing to pay the wages. So right after it comes out, Galatasaray don't want to pay Akanji's wages. This news comes out, which is a little bit worrying. To me, this looks like we are loaning out Victor Reis. Make space for Akanji. I don't like that. On paper, okay, it's fine. Akanji's contract expired. Victor Reis is gonna come back from loan and play for us. On paper, fine. Here's my problem with it. What's the last time a player has come back from a loan at Man City? McAtee? He's the last time, but he's being fucked off. And he barely played. We don't loan out players and then bring them back to play football. At least not under Pep. At least we haven't done that under Pep. So, it is a bit disappointing for me if he does leave. I just hope if he gets loaned out, that he does get a lot of minutes for Girona. Maybe work a bit on his overall game. It's not like he's lacking anything, but just work a bit on the, I guess, experience on European stages or leagues. But still, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not gonna bitch and moan about it, but I'm not a fan of this. Not at all. Big up to Tausif, by the way. Okay. Girona owned by City Group. Yes, they are basically our little bitch. Because we own them. Hello, big up to Rosa, how are you? Yeah, big up to everyone in here. Looks like Akanji is staying, hence Victor Reis is going out on loan. My thoughts exactly. I mean, I said that like 5 seconds ago. But yeah, my thoughts exactly. Which I don't like. It's not the worst thing to happen. Let's be honest. He'll get minutes at Girona. But I just don't. This is just like, yeah, you know what I mean. Club Brugge 18 Super Cups. Yes, sir. The game is not played on paper, it's played on a pitch. Unfortunately, it is. If the game was played on paper, Man City might have a league title right now, but different story in it. We need to stop loaning players out if we don't bring them back. Where did McAtee go on loan? Well, he was on loan to Sheffield before he came back to Man City. And now he's being sold. We'll talk about McAtee in a second. I think under Viana, a lot of players who went out on loan will eventually make it. I mean, we paid 30 million plus for Reis, so we can't waste him. I would hope so. I don't know if it's fair to blame Tiki for the out loan players just being permanently sent off. I don't know if that's a Tiki thing, if that's a culture thing at Man City or what, but we paid 30 million for him, as you said, and what are we really doing with him? I don't know. Girona, they almost got relegated last season. Yeah, they need strengthening. So, I mean, I just loaned them out Akanji. Akanji is experienced. That's what they need, an experienced centre back who's strong, physical, doesn't need to work on anything. Akanji will be better for Girona, and Victor Hayes will be better for Man City. Because Victor Hayes brings us that aerial strength in the box, which we lack a lot. I don't know. It's weird to me. Big up to AK. Big up. How are you? If he goes, stays, I'm cool either way. If he goes or stays, so I'm cool either way as long as we get our new rights back. I've got bad news. Actually, more accurately, I've got no news on right backs. We're not interested in a right back, I suppose. Shusha is winning. They battered Barcelona. Barcelona? Could be. 23-24, 2-4 home and away. 2-4 home and away last season. They got battered by... Okay. Anyhow. Not a big fan of this, but I'm not gonna bitch and moan about this. Let's move on to some more interesting news. Senior Man City sources, whatever the fuck that means, have blazed down talk of an exit for Ederson to Galatasaray. Which is funny because the next thing I've got here is, sorry, wrong one. Sorry, let's go back here. Manchester City are aware Galatasaray in talks with Ederson over personal terms, but still haven't received any official bid. So, Fabrizio Romano tells us that conversations over personal terms are happening. Meanwhile, Telegraph Ducker tells us that senior sources have played down to exit. And I mean, I love this. Steven Ortega's future remains the source of some uncertainty. So in other words, you don't know. Like you don't know. This is what journalists do, yeah? They waffle about shit they don't know about, and then they say, it is uncertain. No, you don't know. Stop waffling. I hate when journalists do this. Like, you literally tell it's nothing. Good, what about you? I'm doing good as well, thank you for asking. And who do you think will be the favorite to sign him? If Ortega has to leave as well? I don't know. Leverkusen was interested in Ortega, but they ended up getting Flecken. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if anyone is interested in Ortega, that's the problem. He's an okay goalkeeper, but he's not more than that, and he'll demand some big wages. Because I forget it's World Cup season and everyone needs playing time. Selling Palmer was a mistake. McAtee gonna be too. No. McAtee was shit this. Should have played more, sure, but he was shit, bro. He scored a few goals, but my god. That guy has no brain, bro, I swear down. I'll look at him play sometimes, yeah, and fair enough, you know where to be in the box, but that's about all. He looks like he's in a panic when he gets the ball. Anything except for running forwards with the ball, he can't do it, mate. He's not good enough for Man City. Neither was Palmer, by the way. Cole Palmer was not good enough for Man City. Phil Foden is better than Cole Palmer. But Palmer was never going to make it at City. Not good enough. So he plays 2 or 3 good games. And everyone gets excited about him. But nobody talks about when he goes for the next 10 games. Phil Foden, he goes for 5 games, he's dead. He gets killed. Palmer, he's been woeful for a while now. He's always done this. He's a very patchy player. That's okay if you're at a club like Chelsea, whose ambition is to win a cup here and there. If your ambition is to win a league title, you can't have a player who is solely based on form. I don't regret selling Palmer one bit. In fact, I think it's the right decision. We could have maybe got more out of it in hindsight, but it was the right decision. Because it just wasn't good enough. Viana is making a lot of investment on a young potential player like Husanov. True, Reis, Echeverri, Nipan. I think Viana wants us to use young players more, but Pep still can't let go of its players. Well, on the opposite end of the spectrum, though, look at Arsenal. Young players FC, but too many young players isn't good either. So, it's great to have young talents, but you still need a spine there that is mature. Now, sure, at the moment we have that. At the moment we have that mature spine, and if he stays Ederson, if he leaves, Trafford's not that mature, but you've got Ruben Diaz in defense. Sure, great. You've got Reinders, Rodri, very mature in midfield. Silva, captain, though I do think he'll be off the bench a lot. Or on the bench a lot. For the wingers, I guess Marmoush, the more mature one. And Haaland, I guess, is starting to get up there in age as well. He's starting to get close to his prime. So it's all well and fine to get the young players, but the young players need to get minutes. So I get both sides of the argument. But where my problem is when you loan out Victor Reis after buying him for 30 million, having barely played, and then does he ever come back from his loan? I won't say he was a great sale. I think we could have made more money out of him, but I think it was the right decision to sell him. McAtee absolutely does have to go. He has to go. Anyhow, this looks like nonsense. I would rather trust Fabrizio over Telegraph Ducker. No offense to Telegraph Ducker, but I'll trust Fabrizio instead. Anyhow, more news that we already knew. Man City are now considering a move for James Trafford. But only if Ederson or Ortega leaves. Bro? Yeah, this is my problem. This is my problem. Most don't return from a loan. In fact, I can't tell you. Like, McAtee is the last one to return from a loan, but he's being sold off too, rightfully so. At Man City, you don't really come back from a loan, do you? So, that's my concern. Listen, new sporting director, new strategy. Maybe he's loaned out and he comes back. Fine. I'm fine with that. But my trust in this club right now to handle loan players properly is a bit low. Because we've had a lot of loan players. And we've just loaned them, and eventually sold them. And that is wages you pay, by the way. If they're gonna sell this guy, just sell him. But if you keep loaning him out, you're just wasting time. I don't like that. And that's what this club has done in the past. So until we do differently, that's how I assume we're gonna continue to move in the future. I can't imagine we fumbled up talent like Echeverri and Nipan. Have you ever watched Nipan play? Have we seen Echeverri play a full 90? I mean, I get what you're saying, bro, but We don't know what type of talent we have on our hands. We can trust the club and scouts who have done great in the past. They've also done bad in the past, like Calvin Phillips. Let's say we loan them out. Does that mean they won't come back? Well, historically speaking, yes. Cruzeiro scored, by the way, 1-0. I'm back now. Big up to Adam back in here. Steve Black says, chances are the loanees never return at this time. That is my concern. Listen, I don't mind, yeah? If Vitor Reis is not good enough, and we decide, let's sell him, fine. Go get someone better. But my concern is we're gonna loan him out, and then so on. People think he's a downgrade of Ederson. What's the response to that? Ederson is literally the worst goalkeeper at the Club World Cup. Statistically speaking, he was the worst goalkeeper at the Club World Cup in aerial duels, in saves. His passing, by the way, is overrated. His passing has been shit since the treble. Oh, but he gets some assists. Fuck the assists, guys. Fuck the assists. The goalkeeper. The goalkeeper. I promise you, he has cost us a lot more goals than he's created for. This guy, yeah, has ought to be the most overrated goalkeeper of all time. And I swear down, yeah, Ederson will leave. And people will get a new goalkeeper and they'll hate him because he won't pass the way Ederson did. But when it comes to a big game, and that goalkeeper stops 4-5 shots that Ederson would have never stopped, then people will suddenly fall in love and realize, oh wait, Ederson wasn't that good. Oh, shocker. It's almost like a goalkeeper should be good at keeping the goal rather than passing, which is a midfielder's job. Like, listen, Ederson had good seasons for us, yeah, but he's well past it. He's well past it. Mentally, he's past it. Passing wise, he's been poor recently. Shot stopping wise, he's been worse than he used to be. He improved. He improved in like the treble and 4-peat season, but since then he's fallen off a cliff. Big up to my favorite name, Bayer Baby. Big up. Pep's leaving in 2 years. Young players will play sooner or later. Maybe. You don't know what the next manager does, though, do you? And we don't even know who the next manager is. On form as well. Well, on form, Ederson is definitely. You can't get worse than Ederson on form. Likely sell and buy backs are what happens. But even few of those happen. Yeah, James Trafford will be the first. And we're still not getting this deal done, are we? James Trafford is just talks. He's agreed to come back if we buy him. Nothing's concrete with Trafford either, so yeah. The problem is there's more potential out there nowadays than a ready-made player. That's always been the case, though. That's how football works. You've got hundreds of kids coming up from nowhere, and you can go poach them, sure. It's no guarantee that they're as good as they look, or that they become as good as they could. It's hundreds of kids out there. It's hundreds. In fact, there's legions in the Belgian league alone that never get picked up, and then they never quite develop. So, I get what you're saying. But you need ready-made players. If you're gonna challenge for the league title, it can't be all Epstein FC. We are not Arsenal. We don't do Diddy parties over here. Take up to Thomas Party. That's a joke, don't get offended. We don't do Diddy parties over here. We don't do this Epstein FC stuff. We buy ready-made players. And sometimes you'll buy a potential player, such as Leroy Sané. That's Gusenov. Gusenov we did not even want to buy yet. But when we bought Gusenov, we also bought Omar Marmoush, who has outscored Rodrigo 2 seasons in a row now. So he was already ready-made when we got him. Was an international for Egypt for a while. So young signings have to be paired with ready-made players. At least that's what I think. Form matters, especially in World Cup season. For the players maybe, but for Man City as a club, it matters in selling players. You can leverage that. You can say to players, hey, you're not gonna play. If you want to play in the World Cup, get out. You can say that, I suppose. Look at Trafford's signing as well. It's potential, no? Maybe, but I've not watched him, so I can't say. Same with Nippon. Same with Echeverri. I've not watched him. No, it isn't, though, is it? Peter Hayes has barely played English football. Trafford is championship goalkeeper of the season. Trafford is not more of a risk than Victor Hayes. Trafford was goalkeeper of the season championship. Different level, maybe, but listen, I've not watched either, and I'm not gonna pretend like I have. But you can't get worse than Ederson. So if Trafford is out 1 year stopgap, and he's not quite there in the level, fine. I don't mind. The central backs have to be right. The right back, should we get one, has to be right. These are the positions we have to get right. Goalkeeper, Donnarumma leaves on a free next season. So, I'm not saying that we're going in for him, but if Trafford is not the level we want of him, well, suddenly Donnarumma is on a free. So, for me, it's not as big of a risk. I get what you're saying, and I agree to some degree, but the context is what matters here. If you look at the potential and the experience on top level of both players, yes, it's equally big of a risk. Or maybe even a bigger risk with Trafford. But if you look at the context of the positions you're going to be filling out, the positions that's going to open up, what you're replacing, I don't at all think that Trafford is a bigger risk. By later, those players might not want to stay at a new club, i.e. Perone, or sold off as don't fit in at City. Yeah, I agree. Trafford's yeah, it is. Every signing has a level of risk to it. Trafford, a bit more than most. For obvious reasons. But I don't think he's absolutely massive risk. I personally wouldn't take Trafford, but what I'm concerned with is how do we trust him more than the likes of Echeverri and Reis? I don't. I want Echeverri and Reis to play. Like, that's the thing. I want Echeverri and Reis to play for Man City. I don't want Victor Hayes to get loaned out. But the goalkeeper position is special in that way. Goalkeepers, they play every game every season, basically. Bar injuries or cup games. But, so goalkeepers are a bit different. I don't trust Trafford more than I trust Echeverri. I have zero trust in either of them. And that is entirely because I've never watched them. I have zero trust or distrust in them. I don't know what to think of them. I've not seen them play enough. If Trafford goes play 5 games, he's shit. We know what to think. If Echeverri goes play 5 games and he's shit, we also know what to think. It's a 1 year. Let's see, Trafford. Why bother? Just use who stays. If it's a 1 year, bro, if it's 1 year, you can't be worse than Ederson. Honest to God, and think about it this way, yeah? 1 year, stopgap, it's a certain 100% improvement on Ederson. We know that for sure. You can't be worse than Ederson. Aerial duels, weak. Commanding in the box, no. Saves, woeful. Passing, not that good anymore. You can't get worse than Ederson, in my opinion. You really can't. He's the worst goalkeeper in the Premier League, bar Andre Onana. Maybe I'm harsh on him. But that's the honest truth about Ederson right now. So Trafford, it's 1 season and he's better. And either, at the end of the season, he's great, and we kick on with him, or he's not that good, and Donnarumma has 3. And we've had a stopgap for a year. It's not. Go check the statistics. He's pathetic when it comes to claiming the ball. I'm sorry to say it, he's pathetic when it comes to claiming the ball. Love him for all he did, but he's not that guy anymore, is he? Big up, by the way, to Spartacus. I think you're new here, I'm not sure. But if you look at statistics, aerial duels is pathetic. It's not the goalkeeper he used to be. In the past, he wasn't that great shot-stopping wise, but he was competent. Now he's not even competent anymore. Listen, time, it's a great equalizer. Everyone grows old, and when you grow old, I don't care how good you were in the past. I don't care how good Ronaldinho used to be. Times changed. Buffon. Times passed. Time is a great equalizer, unfortunately. Not because of all knowledge, but because you have never watched him. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Not all of the goals will be as full of the defense at Burnley as sluggish and bad. So, yeah, maybe. Again, I've not watched Burnley. So, I mean, he was on loan, right? Wasn't he on loan from Burnley? But, and yeah, I've not watched it, so I can't say. Reis, Ba, and Husanov were signed in advance. True. Stones, Akanji, Diaz will go. I reckon Diaz will stick along a bit longer than the rest of those, but I agree. I don't think Diaz will leave soon, and I don't want him to leave personally. Give him a year. Because last season he was not good enough, Diaz. Give him a year. Give him a right back who can cover for his lack of pace. We always knew that. Give him a right back who can cover for that lack of pace. See how he does. And if he does great, end it. But if he's not good enough anymore, again. Could it be harassing by the fans? I hope not. To him and his family, and death threats making him nervous and not focused. All that's bad too, but not as singled out. I feel like that only happened recently with the Club World Cup. I'm not sure, but I don't think that his performances were bad because he got death threats. He's always been a iffy goalkeeper at times. I just think he got old. I think it's that simple. And I think the death threats, which, by the way, terrible stuff to do. I think that came after. I don't know. Look at statistics such as shot preventing action. He's not that good at that. He literally broke the assist record, so what does that mean? His passing is bad. Bro, is Odegaard better than De Bruyne, passing-wise? Because he had more big chances created last season, I think. That means nothing. Moving one ball up the pitch when you do that 20 times and getting an assist once in a while, that's not consistent greatness. Consistent greatness with the ball in your feet is not giving us away to gold medals in the Club World Cup. You can look at isolated incidences, but when you evaluate a player's ability, you have to look over the course of a season. Over the course of a season, his passing statistics are worse than Trafford. So sure, Trafford plays in an easier league, but surely that mean something. If Trafford is at the very least equally as good passing-wise as Ederson is right now. And isolated incidents won't change my mind on that. Listen, yeah. Sterling scored some world-class goals. But was he a great finisher? No. Never was. Haaland has had some terrible misses. But is he a poor finisher? No. Isolated incidences don't mean a lot. Ruben Diaz, do you think he's tired or a lack of professionalism because of pressure and these last 2 seasons, or what? I think he's maybe tired because he's run too much. Maybe it's that. Maybe he runs too much and that's why he's tired. But I think it was just a dip in form. And I think it's also tactically worse. Because Ruben Diaz was always slow. He's always been slow, we noticed. But he used to have covered from Kyle Walker running down the pitch. And now he doesn't have that. So that has to be replaced if he continues to play in this high line. Yeah, those who abused him online aren't... Like, bro... Like, that's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. I think Eddie's time is up as well. Players shouldn't use Twitter. I mean, easier said than done. Easier said than done. It's the most toxic place out there. To explain, Spartacus, because apparently you have better ball knowledge than all of us, to explain why every time we get countered by players who are faster than us, we are at a disadvantage. High lines are highly dependent on pace. Not every defender needs to have quick pace, but you need to have some defenders in there with pace or you're gonna get cooked on the counter. That is basic football. I can't come in here being arrogant saying if you know ball, X, and then being painfully wrong, mate. That's 1, arrogant. 2, just wrong. Sorry, yeah, I was reading this. Players shouldn't use Twitter, it's the most toxic place out there. Most of fan base, every club speaks nonsense on that platform. It's easier said than done. Listen, you can say get off Twitter, but if you're a pro footballer, you're gonna say off Twitter? It's easier said than done. I agree with you, but it's easier said than done. And maybe he does need to get off Twitter. He deactivated his socials in January or February in the treble season, didn't he? And he played better after that. He started the treble season poorly, and he did great. So maybe that helps. Well, that's what's gonna happen. Is your dog still sick? No. She injured her paw, but was never sick. He has literally, statistically, one of the best shots preventing action. Also, it's not just launching the ball on the field. He is making precise passes into the path of the attacker. Is he doing that consistently anymore, though? Is he doing that consistently now? I'm quickly here going to pull up some statistics of Ederson. Because, yeah, he plays a good long ball. But, let me show you something. And I'll contrast this to Trafford later. I've not even seen Trafford's stat, but I'm just interested in this myself. Trafford, what was it? Statistics? Voila. We can check Footmob later as well. But they might not have every statistic to win it. So, let me close this. And let's see. So, Ederson, in the Club World Cup, played 300 minutes. Didn't make a single key pass, but I don't really care. I think this is average passes, so he averaged 26.7 passes, 85% completion, 3.3 long balls. Let's see Trafford. So, Trafford has more long balls. In the Premier League season, regular season, not really, but in Champions League, he has less as well. Community Shield, nobody cares. So, key passes, 0.2. He doesn't have any key passes, that's fine. Passes completed, it's lowered by Trafford. It's lowered by Trafford, to be fair. In every competition. there you go. But he plays more long balls than Ederson did in the Club World Cup, but I thought his passing was abhorrent. Ruben Diaz hasn't been called up for Portugal lately, has he? I don't know. He have called. He has been called. He won the Nations League with them. Yeah. I didn't watch that Nations League. Because we are not able to pressure the ball carrier. Okay. You know that that's a thing of the past, right? That's not how football works anymore. Football evolved like 3 years ago. We built out high line because of Walker, exactly. Moment he drops his form, we were getting wrecked, exactly. Even Akanji was decent pace-wise, not great, but decent. Did he play in those 2 games? Because I kind of forgot. I didn't watch the Nations League. I didn't care for it. If you're willing to give a quick 5 minutes, I can explain to you why pace doesn't matter to keep a high line highly effective. Sure. So please do explain why Pep Guardiola has always wanted a fast fullback. Why has he always wanted a fast fullback? I'm giving you 5 minutes. While you are jetting that out, I'll give you time. I'll go on to the next transfer news, which is, we've already talked about all of this. Post this as well. So right, McAtee. We'll talk about this later. McAtee is valued at, is valued by Man City at £35 million, but we're struggling to get him sold. A lot of clubs only want to pay 20 to 25 million pounds, which makes sense. Not that good, to be fair. This is the thing, yeah? I'll see a lot of Man City fans say, oh, he's this great or he's that great, but he's not that great. Other clubs don't want to buy McAtee. So, we come around here to this. Nottingham Forest are in for McAtee, apparently. They've been in for a while. Clubs are hoping to get him for a lower price than we want. Now, homegrown, maybe for an English club needing homegrown players, potentially, for Europe, maybe we can get a higher fee from that. I don't think we're getting the 35 million. Honestly, I don't care that much. I just want him sold. If we can get 30 million for him, I'll be happy. I just want him sold because we've held on to him for much too long. I think we should have sold him before the 4th beat, even. But this is what I was talking about earlier with Victor Reis. We sometimes hold on to loanies much too long, which I find very annoying. If we need to sign Ederson, again, not a player I've watched. So I can't say. The guy is good at preventing counterattacks with his aggressive press. Hopefully Viana is looking at him. And again, I've not watched him, so I can't say. But I just hope we get a good right back. Honestly, a good right back who's defensively minded, I think that fixes most of it. But basically, it goes down to the fact that the player that makes pass can't have the ability to pick the side of the attack. He can. This is not 2018. Clubs have adapted to. There are specific passing regimes to counter high press. They exist. Clubs evaluate how Man City presses, and they look for the openings, and they pass in a way to come around that. It's regimented, it's trained on the training field. The teams are very much so more resistant to high press than they used to be. So are they always going to get the ball where they want it to be? No, they're not always going to get the ball where they want. But teams are more likely now to get the ball in the place they want than they used to be in 2018. If he does, no matter the pace, he is not going to be in the place. Okay, then why did we concede so many goals last season on the counter-attack? that plenty of players were in the right place. John Larson was in the right place, and I don't rate him at all. He scored against us on the counter because he ran ahead of us. You need to be to force the initial ball carrier to pass the ball down one side. And what if you can't? Again, clubs train for this now. It's not 2018. It's not 2018 where clubs were not ready for this high press. Centre backs pass well. High pressure does not scare teams anymore. They play through it. All of what you said would have been correct in 2018. Not the way football goes anymore. If you can't see that football is evolving, and then you tell people you don't know ball if you don't know this, and I'm sorry, that's 1, arrogant, 2, rude, 3, painfully wrong. There's a reason why a lot of football clubs are moving away from super high press. There's a reason why Ange Postecoglou got called out. Now you can disagree with people, yeah? But when you come in and talk about current day Barca, who don't play a super high press, unless they have a fast right back available, and they don't have a fast right back available, or the fast left back, it's one or the other. You know what they do? They sit deeper. But when they have one of their fullbacks available who's fast, then they are able to press higher up, because that fullback is able to cover the distance. So you can compare to that, but you can disagree, you can argue. But to come in here and say you don't know ball if you don't know this, and then to be just completely missing the point of the evolution of football, that's something. That's something. Our defenders are not good at reading the game anymore. I don't know if that's true either. I don't think the system has helped a lot. But I agree. I disagree. Actually, I disagree. Respectfully, I think the system has maybe been too much for these players. Stones, I think, is just fasted. His body has given up. Diaz, I think it's mostly the system that has left him exposed last season. Whether they still read the game well, I look at Akanji in the FA Cup final, for example. Terrible reading of the game there, for example. So maybe you're right in that, but I don't think Akanji will be starting in defense. So I see where you're coming from, but I disagree. I want to see next season how we play, but hopefully a right back, a real right back, and then we can see. Mate, sorry, but there are 2 teams on the pitch. Yes, that was the point I was trying to get. They will always be able to play out of the press every now and again. Yes, I'm glad we agree. Anyhow, but I'm missing something. Mate, sorry, you're fine. There are 2 teams on the pitch. They always be able to play out of press every. That's what I said. I mean, sure. I agree. But we have played with high lines even on the treble season. Yeah, in the treble season where we sat back and defended for like 40 minutes against Bayern München. Again, balance. Balance is important. In the treble season we played a high line. But in the treble season we had Akanji, who wasn't dull. Sorry, but Akanji is dull nowadays. I don't know what it is with Akanji. I don't think he cares anymore. I think that's the problem, honestly. And we had Carl Walker, who just had the pace to balance out. So that way a high line works. But with very poor... Oh, sorry. But with very poor pressure, which nobody can deny, made it easier for the opposition to be able to transition. Yeah. Right in that. Who is the fastest defender at Barca? Kubachi is decently fast, but Kunde is also pretty fast. He's not Carl Walker fast, but that's a fast right back there. Can catch up to a winger. And by the way, when they played against Real Madrid, both the fullbacks stayed backwards a bit. Or what they will do is if one of the fullbacks pushed up, what's his name? Casado? Something like that. Casado, right? The La Masia kid. He would drop deeper a bit when a fullback pushed up against Real Madrid because of Vini and Mbappe. 2-0 Cruzeiro. The difference is, I think, in the treble season, players still has the hunger and passion. Yeah, that makes a big difference as well, I suppose. Unfortunately, they have lost it nowadays. Yeah. Well, Josko is rapid, though. Josko is rapid. So I don't. I love Josko. He's a great defender. So yes, Josko is faster than Kubarsi, probably. Sorry, I didn't read the rest of that comment. And Nunez is about as fast as Koundé. Nah, I think Koundé is faster. I do think Koundé is faster. Casado, thank you. Gabigol. Is that the name of the person who scored, or are you making a joke here? Anyhow, I like Josko. I think he's a proper fast defender. But the problem is when the ball, ball on the left-hand side, very fine. Very fine if the ball comes on the left-hand side. The problem is when it comes down the right, which is where Ruben Diaz is gonna. If you have a right back, a defensive-minded right back, he can help Josko with that. And then we don't have the same problem. And Nunez, I don't think Nunez is as fast as Koundé. I don't think that at all. But even if he is, his defending is poor anyhow. For the Cruzeiro, okay. Gabigol scored for the Cruzeiro. Josko was playing every game last season. Yeah, that's a problem as well. But I think he'll get more rest this season. I want to see Josko playing together with Ruben Diaz a lot of this season. Next season, whatever. It is this season. The first game of the Belgian League began already, so... What my worry is with that is you don't have that much in the way of clearances. So you look, for example, against Al Hilal. They were able to just get a high ball and then score on a corner. And Josko at Leipzig, he used to be a lot better in aerial duels. I don't know why he's not that good at aerial duels at Man City. But Ruben Diaz has never been great in the air. But I think Josko and Diaz should work together well. My problem is I don't trust Akanji Husanov as a duo. You need to have partnerships, right, with centre backs. You talk about that a lot. So I think having Akanji and Husanov together as a partnership, I think that's a bit problematic, to be honest. Because don't get me wrong, Husanov, good defender. He's got his moments where up here it's not all that smooth, and Akanji has his balls moments too. So I'm not sure if that's a safe back line. Both German clubs you mentioned will play Champions League football next season. Did I mention any German club? I was talking about Leverkusen earlier. Who else did I talk about? Anyhow. You can tell I'm tired, by the way. You can tell I'm tired from this. Anyhow. Nottingham Forest, please buy McAtee. It'll be good for you guys. It's just not Man City level, I see. And the last bit of news here before I round up my waffling session. Despite Nico Gonzalez attracting interest in Europe, Man City are still planning on midfielder remaining at the club. So pretty much saying a lot of nothing. But planning at remaining at the club is a lot better than planning not to leave. Like Elliot saying, we don't have plans for him to leave. Elliot actually saying we have plans for him to stay. Again, this is the same source that reported the Ederson news. I don't know how true this is. It doesn't look like a good source, if I'm being very honest. I might be wrong, but Ederson news that he was wrong about makes me distrust him a little bit. But Nico Gonzalez, I hope he plays next season. He deserves to play next season, I think. I think we all agree on that. O'Reilly, I think is interesting. I don't know where he's going to play. Is he going to be left back? Going to be midfielder? I don't mind. I just want him to play. Even if it's on loan, but then does he come back from loan? Probably not. I want O'Reilly to play. And I'm very interested to see where O'Reilly plays. If O'Reilly plays as the backup 8, and Gonzalez plays as the backup 6, and then you've got Sherky, and I guess Sherky will be right winger. So let's say you've got Foden and Echeverri then in that midfield. For the 10, then I think all of your midfield has very good depth. So I like that, on paper. I'm just not sure what the plan is with Man City right now. And I don't know how fit is Rodri going to be next season. Hopefully, he's going to be fit all season. Let's pray on that. But anyhow, I've been waffling at this point. I'm waffling at this point. So let's round it up there. Big up to everyone in here. Big up to Spartacus as well, who I do think is a new subscriber. We did have a bit of a scrap. My apologies if I was rude during that, but I do like when people come in and disagree. It's boring when everyone just agrees with me. It is boring. So thank you to everyone who's been in here, liking and subscribing, and I'll just leave it there. I'm tired. I'm gonna be honest, I'm tired. But before we leave, 1 second. Okay, can I not find a fucking image of this? Here we go, guys. Before we leave, let me show my screen. Damn it. This happens all the time on OBS. Breaks. There you go. 18 times. 12 seasons in a row. With 1 trophy or more. Different graphy. It's been 13 years since Club Brugge has been without a trophy. Big up to this baller, by the way. Baller. Thank you. Great performance. And with that, let's stop waffling here. Big up to everyone in here. I think O'Reilly is left back. Could be. I have no idea. Is it anyone live that I can redirect to? I could redirect to Sava. My 11 viewers to Sava. Oh, Aston Villa from the stands is live. Let's go there. Yeah, he's got a great channel. Alfred, guys. Big up Adam. Let's go Cruzeiro. It's my hometown club. Big up. Your hometown club is moving. Let's set up that redirect. And yeah, there you go. Alfred. But yeah, big up again for everyone in here. Big up to Spartacus, who I do think is news. Thank you for disagreeing with me, by the way. It's boring when we always agree. So big up to you for coming in here. Apologies for being a bit rough in that scrap. And we'll leave it there. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm tired.